Welcome to the portal to New Sovereign Earth, an interdimensional landing strip for beings who know their power. Come, collaborate, learn, and co-create our collective heaven on earth. Brought to you by Temples Aquaria, where you can find exclusive members-only content like events, shows, classes, and even invites to on-site retreats. You'll learn everything you need to know in order to build the new sovereign earth. I'm your host, Kalina Lux. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn notifications on. Well, hello, everybody. I am Kalina Lux, if you don't already know me. And I am super thrilled to talk to you guys about my passion project, Tarot ILUMA, which is not only a physical deck of tarot cards, it's also an NFT project on Tarot blockchain. And I just wanted to share a little bit about what inspired this project and like my journey with tarot. And yeah, so interestingly enough, like I found tarot a long time ago, like I think it was 2007 or 2006, around that time. I bought my first deck. It's one of my favorite decks. I still have it to this day. It's discontinued, out of print. It's like $800 on like eBay. This deck is called the Tarot of Eden, and the artwork was so captivating. And I was so cute at that time because I really didn't get it. I was still kind of like in the middle of my super awakening phases spiritually and consciously. And I kept pulling the same 3 cards. And I pulled the same 3 cards for like a year. And I got so irritated with this deck. I was like, this deck is broken. It doesn't work. I put that on my bookshelf and I didn't touch it again for a couple years. I was just like, this doesn't work. And like, as I look back to like my little self in 2008 and how adorable that was, because that's how tarot works. Even to this day, I have pulled cards like sometimes like 7 times in a row, like different times, right? But over the course of a couple months, pull the same card 7 times, which is like statistically improbable when you think about how many cards are in a deck or an oracle deck. And years later, I started to get more spiritually awakened and in tune with my path as a healer. And in any good healer's story, there comes a dark night of the soul. And mine in particular, when it was like a lot of things combined, like circa 2014. Like, you know, my father had just passed. I had just relocated. I had no friends in the new place I was living in, and, you know, learning a new job. And like, I used to have like really long fashion dreadlocks, like down to my butt. And I had combed them all out and like cut my hair real short. And I just was going through this total identity crisis. On top of that, just like having one of those real toxic relationship breakups that like kind of just dig at the soul. And in hindsight, I look back to that because it was like such a great gift to have all of that culminating into this rich, dark, painful, sad time, which I like to call the dark night of the soul, which is one of the crucial steps in the tarot of the major arcana. And in that time frame, I, in order to like heal the pain or just like run from the pain, I was reading like 3 books a week. I was putting down countless spiritual documentaries, and I was like in every single spiritual class that like I could get myself into with all the little like spiritual bookshops and crystal shops nearby. And adorably, I would like go to bed every night with like my pillow full of crystals and like crystals in my hand, like all around me, and like my tarot deck right next to me. And sometimes like I was so unsatisfied with the answer that the deck was giving me for like my questions, I would just like sleeplessly pull every card in the deck. And night after night of this, I really began to have a different relationship with the tarot. And because this divine construct of the universe that we live in is so loving, where you turn your attention, that obviously you can, by focusing your attention on something, you can create more of that where it didn't exist before. So for me, tarot classes and all these kinds of things started popping up like on my same street, on the block, like a next door block from me. And I just started going and learning about the tarot. And one of the things that really impressed me was the path of the Fool. And I spent a lot of time like placing all my cards out, like the major arcana in the numbered, like just number, like in their sequence, and staring at them and pondering on them and really going deep with each card and looking at it from a bird's eye perspective, like a field, right? One of the concepts that I've been really like indulging in lately is this concept of the field that informs everything. You know, I'm just going to take a segue to talk about this because I think it's important enough to talk about it. We look at all these ancient systems like gematria or numerology, astrology, tarot, and all these like super kind of like high level secret society type vibe systems, right? In these esoteric systems, typically we believe, like when we're researching them, that that group of people that had all this knowledge that was super to ours, superior to ours, created these systems. And while that might in some shape or form be true, really where I believe the gold is when you take a bird's eye perspective and you actually look down at this from a higher dimension. Did those people have this knowledge, or were they simply attuned with a frequency that is informing the field, which is expressing this divine knowledge or this divine geometry or the mathematics of this construct that we live in? And I'm still on a side note from this, but I wanted to share. When I was in university, I had the unique experience and the pleasure of studying invertebrate zoology on the coast of Oregon for a semester. And my project, of which was published, it's my only published paper, was on this particular group of invertebrates that were genetically identical zooids. And depending on where their location is in the colony, basically determined their phenotypic expression or what their bodies looked like. So in this phenotypic expression, if you were in the, like, okay, let's pretend that this thing back here, like this circle behind me, is the colony of zooids. If you were to look at like the pink ones on the outside with the squares and the circles, those would be like the zooids that expressed different types of like body parts that were like warrior, like defender, protector, right? Because they're on the external part of the colony. They would have these like, body parts that could help them defend the colony. Now, if you were like towards the inside, like right in here, you would have like more digestive type qualities and so on and so forth. And this blew my mind because how can a colony of individual beings that are all genetically identical, like clones of each other, express different types of bodies or phenotypes? Well, that implies there's a field informing it. And you can also, if you research those experiments where they took salamanders or whatever, and they sliced them up as they were, at the zygote and as the embryos of these salamanders were being formed. You took brain tissue, stem cells that were meant to be in the brain, and you put them in the feet, and you take the feet and you put them in the arms, and so on and so forth. Well, no matter where you put them, that's what they expressed. That's what they became. So it completely squashes this idea that it's all genetics, right? And of course, there's been many men and women in the field who have talked about this that have come before me, like Bruce Lipton, and even, the precursors of who he got it from in academia, right? So it's a field informing the expression. And when you look at that and you apply that concept to what we're existing in and what we're experiencing in this construct, we could deduce and extrapolate from that in the fourth dimension or in the higher dimensional realms, there is a field informing this construct of what is being expressed, right? And I think that is like the realization of this is in large part what the age of Aquarius and this grand awakening refers to. So getting back to the field, these ancient masters or sects of information with all this esoteric information, potentially they were just aspects of that field that were in the right place, time, vibrationally that could express that information. And so it becomes less about finding all of the little details and all the synchronicities of this symbol and that symbol and all these things to make it this huge study of what the people who've come before you have said. And to get it, there's a time and a place for that. People who study tarot oftentimes love diving into the symbolism. And in my personal readings, I do that as well for myself when I feel that that's an alignment. But for Tarot ILUMA, I was specifically guided to share this bird's eye field of the zoom out version of the Fool's Journey, of which I created within myself, or potentially maybe I was just a resonant match to it and it flowed through me from the field that informs this reality. Regardless, I'm not attached to it, but I am super grateful for being able to bring to you guys this journey that was in my heart. And of course, it always starts and ends with the Fool. The Fool is the most important card in the major arcana because it is you, dear querent. It is, if you're reading for somebody, it's them. If you are reading for yourself as the querent, it is you. And the Fool is incredible because the Fool starts off totally blank, like nothing, right? Just programmed with the baseline programming that all of us get in when we come into this life, we get, right? Oh, these limiting beliefs and these programs that society dictates to us. And then by this force of divine unrest, we begin to awaken and we're like, wait, there's something wrong. There's something not as it seems. Like for me, this happened with September 11th when the Twin Towers fell. And this, this created such a divide in my previously held container of safety of what everybody told me. I was like, wait a second, something is not as it seems. They're lying. They're lying to us, right? Right? Affectionately. And this is what I would call, like, think about a seed, right? When there's a seed, like let's say you just went to the store and picked up some seeds for cilantro, because that's my favorite. The cilantro seeds, even though they're very tiny, like they're dormant, right? They're dried out and they're dormant. Everybody comes in as this dormant. And when we call people NPCs or sheep, I would look at it this way. It's just that they're dormant, right? They haven't woken up yet. They haven't ever felt that divine discontent to get enough momentum to catalyze them through the shell of the seed, right? So here's the little seed that we have. And it contains our entire world within that seed. And only through the catalyst of our divine discontent or unrest, knowing that there's something else out there, there's something not right, something is amiss, do we then begin to awaken the life force within that little seedling that breaks through and begins to become a seedling and a sprout. And that is what I would call the magician, right? So the Fool is the dude that goes through the entire journey. Then it goes to the magician, right? And in the magician, that's the phase when you're still in the seed, but you're pushing up against the wall to break out. And then next comes the high priestess, where she's in the soil, in the dark, right? This occult, but it's so rich because you're finally free. And oh my goodness, everything is like so juicy because you're learning all these things that you thought were just, didn't know they existed or thought was lies. And you're learning more and more and you're awakening and you're discovering some of your own intuitive psychic abilities. And then you finally make it through that journey of the rich, moist darkness of the soil. Then you go and you break through the earth to meet the sun, right? And this is where you become the empress and you're manifesting and you're just becoming so rich and juicy because everything that you want, you're getting sunlight, you're getting water, you're getting nourishment. And in turn, you're creating more, right? And the journey continues on through our major arcana, and I'm not going to go into each card, but that's just a little bit of a taste of what you can expect in Tarot ILUMA. And there's a bunch of really gorgeous NFTs that also come with it. So if you're a Tarot fan, which, I'm a Tarot maxi, you can find we're launching for auctions starting January 20th. That is the goal. And you can check out all of the collection right now. If you go to TarotILUMA.com, you can pre-order your deck. And just a side note, if you've ordered on Temples Aquaria, can you send me your address? Because I didn't receive it. That was my bad. So order on TarotILUMA.com because it'll collect your address. What else? Yeah. So you can get an NFT collection from this, which is, it comes with a energetic mandala or imprint. Each card that I authored, I went through this path of this journey with all the minor arcana as well. So all of them kind of build on each other and they go in sequence. And so my gift to you within Tarot ILUMA, if you're an NFT holder, is that choose your card based off of not just the resonance of the art that you like, and the rarity, of course, but also choose it off of the mantra, because I have imbued these cards with the power to work in your light field, like a field, like a little bit of a fractal of this grand field informing your field to express yourself more in these ways. So there are alchemical powers within that are going to help you access the medicine of that card. So one of the things I'm really excited about is the physical deck. So printing of those is delayed. I think they're not going to print it now everything's printed. They just have to put the holographic backing, like on the side of the card, which I'm so excited for, because the box is going to have holographic designs on all sides, and the cards they have like this, outline of this real pretty holographic design that I chose. So everything's getting done really, really special. And then each box is hand folded, all 300 of them. And then, so it's all it's going to be done very well, very high quality. So that's taking a little bit longer. So if you've ordered, just sit tight and make sure that I have your mailing address. And what else? Yeah. So I'm just so excited for this physical deck. And if you can't wait like me, you can head over. If you already have a Tarot wallet and you know how to connect to the RPC server or bridge, you can literally just connect to dreamtables.net and you can play tarot on there like a game. You just basically, it's on the Tarot blockchain. You can go choose either a 1 card or a 3 card reading and get your cards right there. And a lot of people are already reporting to me that they're in alignment and that the readings are resonating, which makes me very happy. Because, I was wondering are these going to be so weirdly written that nobody's going to be able to understand them? But I think that they are. And I'm also available if you guys have questions about your reading or what a card means, you can hit me up. And yeah, so that's something that I'm really excited about with ILUMA, because I'm hoping to provide to you guys a system of tarot that has not been demonstrated yet. Of course, it's inspired by meditations on the tarot and, the ancient decks like the Tarot de Marseille and all of those, right? It's inspired by those. But I wanted to give you guys in ILUMA the specific medicine that came from just me, that I don't think anybody else has put forward in this way. And I'm not so much focusing on all the in-depth deep dives into symbols and whatnot, because there's other people that are going to be great at that and that lights them up, but that doesn't light me up because it's played out in a way to me. So you guys, with that being said, go check out TarotILUMA.com, check out DarrowNFTs.com. There are tons of awesome other NFTs out there that you can get. And Darrow is blowing up right now. We're at the very beginning stages. So if you feel like you missed out on the Bitcoin, when it was real low, or Ethereum, right? Well, it's happening all over again with Darrow, mark my words. And for any of you who are going to Anarchapulco, I will be speaking on Darrow, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys there. So if you're there, please come by and say hello. And I guess that's all for today. Super duper excited and thrilled for Tarot ILUMA, and thanks for all the love and support. We're running a competition on Twitter right now. If you share any of the cards that you like or feel a resonance for and hashtag it Tarot ILUMA giveaway on Twitter, you can enter in a competition to get a personalized, customized NFT made by me for you. So go ahead and do that and share. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe if you're watching this, because that'll help. And share and share and share. Mwah! Much love to you guys, all my beautiful communities from the Darrow community, from the Crow people, and from Temples Aquaria, and anybody else who might be watching this. So much, much love.